The topics and opinions expressed on the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4WN Radio, its employees, or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4WN Radio.
Hello and welcome to Fearless Fabulous You. I am your host, Melanie Young, and I am so glad you're joining me on June 10th, 2026. You know what this time of year is? It is the start of the summer season, and I bet I hope you already have travel plans in place. Or maybe you're going to do some last minute travel plans, either in the United States for the 250th anniversary of our country, or maybe you're going overseas to do some exploring. Anyway, I hope you are traveling because I think traveling is the best education of my life and yours. And it's all about exploring new places, maybe visiting familiar ones, but learning about new cultures and whatnot. So as you know, I love to travel and I'm trying to do more travel shows on Fearless Fabulous You. So it's not just about health and wellness, which I want you to always make a priority, but I also want you to enjoy your life to the fullest and step out and explore. And you can travel on any budget. I travel on a budget all the time. I mean, I'm lucky to be invited on hosted press trips so I can share it with you. But when I'm on my own dime and time, wow, am I on a budget? I'm very careful about looking for travel deals. So I'm going to talk about one travel deal today here in the United States that maybe you were like, I don't know about that, but I'm going to tell you why you should spend some time visiting New Orleans, the Big Easy, in summer, because summertime in New Orleans and the living is easy here in the Big Easy. And I'm going to talk to you as someone who has chosen to live full time in New Orleans. And we spend a lot of time here in the summer because a lot of our business trips are in the first part of the year, and then everything kind of quiets down. And then we start up again with all of our great wine trips. We spend a lot of time here in the summer, and there's some good reasons to visit. Summer may sizzle with heat in New Orleans, and people go, oh, it's too hot. But let me tell you, it's hot everywhere. I was just in Italy 2 weeks ago and about to go to Greece, and it is hot. But New Orleans has benefits from the heat because it has amazing air conditioning. Everyone has air conditioning, and that's not always the case in Europe, as I learned sitting in the back of a car cooking more recently. It's not to say I don't love Europe, and I love the fact that Europeans don't love air conditioning, but boy, New Orleans dishes it out. So you'll come down to New Orleans, and guess what? You'll find some of the greatest dining and hotel deals you've ever dreamed of. Festival season is over, prices go down, the city kind of empties out. A lot of locals go to their homes in the mountains, and that's cool. We have friends in North Carolina we want to visit. But New Orleans is really cool in the summer because things slow down, you pace yourself, you just have a cool cocktail at a rooftop bar, maybe take advantage of a resort pass. It's called the resort pass to take a dip in a pool. There's lots of green spaces and so many shops and galleries happy to see you during these quiet months. And you're supporting small independent businesses because New Orleans is all about small independent businesses. Just to kind of give you a little lagniappe, or what they call a little something extra to, whet your appetite. I'm going to quickly show you a short sizzle reel. Yeah, this is all about sizzling that I found on neworleans.com. New Orleans and Company is the Convention and Visitors Bureau tourism office. Neworleans.com is a great source for planning your trip, getting deals. I use it all the time as a journalist. So I'm asking my fabulous engineer Juan, let's show that little sizzle deal to see why you may want to consider visiting New Orleans in the summer.
There's nowhere like New Orleans this summer. The city is showing off, and you should see it. New spaces, new energy, dining that belongs on any list in the world. Come see what's new. New Orleans is ready for you.
Okay, New Orleans is ready, and I'm ready to talk about New Orleans because I love this city with all my heart. So I'm going to tell you as an insider what you should be doing this summer in New Orleans and frankly all year round. But let's start with green spaces because I think recently my brother-in-law and sister-in-law came to visit and we took them to our New Orleans. So a lot of people come to New Orleans and of course they go to the French Quarter. It's amazing. It's the most historic neighborhood probably in the United States or one of them and the city. And you feel like you're in a little part of Europe and you got to love it. And we encourage you to go visit the French Quarter. And we'll talk about it. But you got to step out of downtown. You got to go uptown on the streetcar to see the beautiful mansions and historic homes. You can do these incredible tours, and I highly recommend doing tours. The Cabildo, which is a historic museum in the French Quarter, does these great architectural tours. You can sign up for them through the Cabildo. You can sign up through neworleans.com. And there's also some wonderful culinary tours you can do, like Destination New Orleans. I highly recommend doing some of these walking tours to get a feel for the city and do them in different neighborhoods. I love New Orleans because of the green spaces. And you're probably going, really? Well, yeah, because I live here full time. And when we decided where we wanted to live full time, we thought about where we would go to have fun because we were living in New York. And then we moved to the country and it was all great. But we were like, where do we always spend our hard-earned money to go have a good time? Well, guess what? It was New Orleans. We came here for festivals. We came here to see friends. We came here for Tales of the Cocktail, which is a summer event. And we therefore decided to move here. So one of the things we wanted when we moved here was green space. Green space is really important because we like to walk and hike and bike and have access to golf and tennis should we start taking it up again. So we live near probably one of the most beautiful green spaces in New Orleans, which I highly recommend visiting. It's a short drive from the French Quarter in downtown. It's called City Park. This is our Central Park. It is so beautiful, filled with large, giant oak trees. There's the Storyland, a children's park with a nursery rhyme theme. There's tennis courts. There's, get this, Café du Monde. So you may line up and wait for a long time at the Café du Monde in the French Quarter. But the Café du Monde in City Park, there are no lines. And there's more space to have those amazing beignets and cafe au lait. It's where I like to go. Sometimes I'll just go to City Park. I'm doing it later. I'm going to do a free class. They have this wonderful, all these great free classes in City Park. There's even a putt-putt, City Putt. I'm going tonight and I'm going to Move Your Brass. It's a free dance class. And after I do my Move Your Brass, I'm going to City Park's members night to go have fun at Storyland and ride some rides and be a kid again. We'll probably go pick up some beignets and cafe au lait before we go in. Frozen cafe au lait in the summer, awesome. There's also botanical gardens. It's beautiful. City Park should be on everyone's list to go visit. And the New Orleans Museum of Art is a beautiful museum filled with fine art. Right nearby is the Woldenberg Outdoor Sculpture Garden. I love spending my afternoons walking in the garden. It is so beautiful and so peaceful. Just make sure you wear comfortable shoes, wear sneakers. I'm going to talk about shoes in a minute and a reason why. And maybe a suntan pack, sunscreen, bug spray, and have an umbrella and bright sunglasses or a hat to cover yourself and so you don't get overheated. So green spaces get you outside. I just talked to you about my favorite one, City Park. I'm going to cover the green spaces. Then I'm going to tell you how to pack for them. Another really favorite green space is Crescent City Park. Crescent City Park is along the river in the Bywater. The Bywater is a very old historic neighborhood filled with colorful little houses that people have fixed up. Many are single families, some are two families, share different halves. Cute little restaurants. Some of the top restaurants in the city are actually in the Bywater. That's right, including Saint Germain, which is on the Michelin list, and Ayacama, which is a Mexican restaurant. Both are in the Bywater. Crescent City Park is a beautifully landscaped park right on the Mississippi River. You can stroll it. You can bike it. There are plenty of blue bikes to rent. It's called the Blue Bikes, and they're all over town. Highly recommend doing that, and maybe then going into The Bywater, one of my favorite places to go in the Bywater is the Sneaky Pickle. That's right, Sneaky Pickle. We took my brother-in-law and sister-in-law to lunch there. There's a lot of vegetarian sandwiches and bowls to have, but it's not all vegetarian. A really great drink. It's called the Sneaky Pickle. It's one of my favorite lunch places in the Bywater. Another thing I love to do is to go to Chance and Hell Snowballs. Okay, the snowball is like Hawaiian shave ice, but New Orleans style, which means you're going to have these incredibly amazing fresh, often fresh fruit juices, but sometimes there's a little alcohol in some of them. They change based on what is available. Chance and Hell Snowballs is right near Sneaky Pickle, and I got to tell you, it is some of the best snowballs in the city. You got to have at least one because you're going to be hot. Snowballs. Remember, classic New Orleans summer treat, snowballs. Another green space further on up, adjacent to the French Quarter, is the newly expanded Woldenberg Park up there. It is just basically the riverfront. They have expanded it even further down to the Melanie, another charming restaurant where there's a lot of music. Places to go, cafes and music venues. And the Melanie Frenchman Street is a really famous place to walk at night. Great. We actually spent some time walking on this newly expanded Woldenberg Park during the French Quarter Festival, which happens in the spring. 4th of July, great time to visit. You're going to see the most stunning fireworks from this park over the Mississippi imaginable. Great green space, just steps from downtown New Orleans and the French Quarter. If you go uptown, another favorite green space absolutely is Audubon Park. It is another grand park surrounded by beautiful historic mansions and Tulane University, my alma mater. It is very family friendly. You'll see people biking. You'll see people walking their dogs. There's a beautiful lake with swans and ducks. I love to do like 1 or 2 loops around Audubon Park with friends just to catch up, and then maybe go over to Magazine Street and get an ice cream at Creole Creamery, or get in my car and go down Chapatoulas and go to Hanson's Snow Biz, one of the most famous snowball places in New Orleans on Chapatoulas. Their snowball. This place is so famous, it was named a James Beard Foundation America's Classic, Hanson's Snowball. I think it's 80 years old, family owned. If you go to Snowblitz on Instagram, they'll tell you the flavors of the day. There are lines to get in because it's so popular and so worth it. So these are like my cool off fun things to do for green spaces is walk the green space, go with a friend, and then go get a snowball. Another favorite snowball is Plum Street Snowball further uptown on Plum Street. But I got to tell you, Hanson's and Chance and Hell in the Bywater, absolute hem down, my favorite snowballs. So you're like, okay, I don't want to be outdoors anymore. Wait, but you could go see the lake. It's absolutely cool and beautiful at Lake Pontchartrain. You can walk the lakefront. There's so many green spaces. But let's say you don't want to be indoors because you're tired of being outside. Well, first, let me tell you how to beat the heat. When you come to New Orleans in the summer, there are absolute musts you must pack in your suitcase. 1, comfortable closed-toe walking shoes, preferably sneakers, because you're going to walk a lot and your feet are going to swell and get hot. So bring socks, wear sneakers. I like kids, and I'm not paid to say that, although maybe they'll take notice and hire me. But there's a lot. But always have sneakers. Also, a really comfortable pair of sandals, not heels or other kind of flat shoe. But don't necessarily take your newest and most favorite shoe. Girlfriends, it rains a lot here. There will be rain. There will be rain, and it could be sprinkles or deluge. It's summer in New Orleans. Expect it. Have an umbrella with you and have shoes that you don't care about in case they get wet. Some of my least favorite pairs of shoes still remain in my closet just in case the rain comes down. I always carry a pair in a backpack or a sack, a tote bag, and in my car just in case. I always have an umbrella, I always have my sunscreen, and I always have bug spray because, sorry, there are mosquitoes. There are mosquitoes everywhere. I lived in the Hudson Valley and I was bitten all the time. So don't just say New Orleans is hot and there are mosquitoes. I was just in Italy. There were a shitload of bugs there, and I love Italy, but there were mosquitoes. There are mosquitoes everywhere. So don't just say they're only in the tropics or subtropics. They're everywhere and there's heat everywhere. Just pack that wherever you go. Comfy shoes, maybe a long sleeve light linen shirt, sunscreen, bug spray, a hat, a shady hat. You can get tons of them here at the French market. Hats are sold everywhere, and an umbrella. Okay, just do it. Trust me. And deodorant. Make sure you have plenty of deodorant. Okay, so you're tired of being outside. I don't blame you. However, you got to think about evening. It cools down here, and there are some amazing rooftop bars that I would highly recommend to grab a cool cocktail, because New Orleans is the cocktail center. There's some very famous cocktails that were invented here. I would definitely check out some of these amazing rooftop bars. I call it chillaxing. One of my favorites is brand new. It just opened. It's so elegant. It's in a hotel called the Hotel Pearl, right down on Lower St. Charles, right next, in the heart of downtown. It's called Charles and Julia. It's a rooftop bar and terrace with light bites, and you can get some wonderful food. It's owned by the same family that owns Tujague's, one of the most famous, historic, second oldest restaurant in New Orleans. I love this place. There is a pool. I think it's only for hotel guests. It's a very elegant hotel, by the way, if you're looking for a really beautiful upscale place, the Hotel Pearl, Pearle. But Charles and Julia and the rooftop bar are open to everyone, and I would definitely go there. Another really popular place and deals to be had right now in the summer is the Pontchartrain Hotel, which turns 100 this year. Very historic hotel. I'm going to share a cute story with you about it. It's right on beautiful St. Charles, not far from where I have family living. And they have a bar upstairs on the roof called Hot 10. And boy, is it hot to get into. Make reservations. You see a 360 view of the city. The Pontchartrain, because it's turning 100, it's offering one of the best hotel deals in the city, $100 a night rooms. That's right, $100 a night room. So check it out. Another thing I love about the Pontchartrain is there's this famous Mile High pie that was invented at the Pontchartrain Hotel. It is like kind of like a baked Alaska with multicolors. It's really awesome. When I was a little girl during my first trip down here, my parents took me to the Pontchartrain for a slice of Mile High pie. I was as happy as possible. And then a very famous nightclub entertainer came in named Chris Owens, and she was really the hot thing back then. She's passed since. And my cousin was so shocked to see her. He spit out his Mile High pie over the table. And whenever I see my cousin, I still tease him. But Mile High pie is a real treat, particularly if you're traveling with kids. But, we're all kids, really. We're all grown-up kids. Another great bar in downtown New Orleans is Rosie's on the Roof at the Higgins Hotel, right across from the World War II Museum, which is a great museum to visit. You need about 2 days. Rosie's on the Roof has the most stunning view of downtown New Orleans, and they do have specials. Another one I like is the View Rooftop Bar on Canal Street. It's also tied to one of my favorite museums, the View. Very interactive. Highly recommend that. There's others. But you know what? There's also bars with pools, and you can take a dip. There's something called Resort Pass. I don't need it because lucky me, I have a pool in my house. But a Resort Pass will get you access to different pools. The pool club at the Virgin Hotel, absolute bar none. I actually like the restaurant at the Virgin Hotel, but it has a beautiful pool club you can go to downtown. Another one is the Nopsey Hotel, which has some very good deals this summer in terms of rooms. They all do. Above the Grid is their bar and hotel pool. Highly recommend it. A lot of friends stay at the Nopsey. The Hotel Monteleone in the French Quarter, which has one of the most famous bars in the city. The Carousel Bar is literally a carousel. It goes around and around. I love their rooftop pool. I think you need to do it through Resort Pass, though. Another one is the rooftop at the Roosevelt Hotel. The Roosevelt also has some great deals. It's owned by Hilton now, or Waldorf Astoria Hilton. And it has the famous Sazerac bar, where the Sazerac was invented, and a great rooftop pool. So Resort Pass I think it's Resort Pass New Orleans. If you go, you can find out where you can get passes to rooftop bars with pools to take advantage of in the summer. And the passes start at $25. Great thing to do if you live here or if you're visiting for a period of time. But I do recommend trying to find a hotel with a pool. There's many, the W in the New Orleans. Just, go online and say, do you have a pool? And take advantage of it, because you will want to take a dip at the end of the day. Trust me. So another reason I love New Orleans in the summer are the amazing dining deals. This week, and it's June 8th to 14th, it's restaurant week. But guess what? It gets even better as the summer progresses. My favorite dining deals can be found during the month of August all the way into September 15th. They're called COOLinary. Cool, COOLINA, COOLinary dining deals. Much like Restaurant Week, they're fixed price 2 and 3-course lunches and dinners and some brunches offered by dozens of restaurants throughout the city who are welcome you with open arms and great dining deals. David and I take advantage of COOLinary all the time to go visit some of the restaurants maybe we haven't tried or to revisit some of the classics we hadn't been to in a while. This week we went to Antoine's, which is the oldest restaurant in Louisiana and one of the oldest in the United States, established in 1840. This is a classic historic restaurant that everybody should visit when they come to New Orleans. They have a great dining deal going on, not only doing COOLinary, but throughout the summer. Highly recommend it. Galatoire's, another great French Quarter historic restaurant, has some wonderful dining deals going on. Well, check their website out, check their Instagram out. I also suggest in the quarter for classics, because I think if you're going to go dine out in the quarter, go to some of the classics. They're historic. You'll feel like you're stepping into history. The other one is Arnaud's. Wonderful these are restaurants so famous they have museums on site. Both Antoine's and Arnaud's have rooms that are museums. Actually, Arnaud's has a museum. You can ask to tour it, and I highly recommend you do it. They offer incredible dining deals through the summer, especially doing COOLinary, but I'm on their mailing list now. There's deals to be had, particularly on quiet, like some are open on Monday. Not everybody is open on Monday. Like I know Antoine's is because we had lunch there this week. So they're good to check out on Mondays. Highly recommended. Galatoire's, Arnaud's, Antoine's, and finally Brennan's. Brennan's, 80 years in business, big, beautiful pink building where the Bananas Foster was created. Great courtyard. You can go see the turtles. Those are the 4 I would recommend in the quarter for elegant upscale dining. Brennan's, Antoine's, Galatoire's, Arnaud's. Please dress appropriately. People in New Orleans, residents in New Orleans, we dress. We look nice. We wear sundresses. We wear, collared shirts. We wear nice shoes. We don't go out in shorts and tank tops to dinner. We look nice, and we really want our visitors to respect that and do that as well. If not, you don't have to wear a suit or anything like that, but just dress a little nicer for dinner. It'll make your experience better, and frankly, we appreciate it as New Orleanians. If you want a little less expensive, more casual, but still dress nice, that we love in the French Quarter, Mr. B's Bistro, hands down, fabulous. Mr. B's Bistro, love. There's a little courtyard place I just discovered called Patchoula in the Crew Eyewear building. I also, some of my favorite restaurants in the French Quarter need visitors now. Decatur Street is under construction, and some of the most historic, wonderful restaurants are located on Decatur Street, and they need people to go through the construction barriers to visit them. Tableau is one. Cane and Table is another. French Market, love their seafood. We just ate at a Chinese restaurant down there, Dianjiang, love. Support them. They're hurting right now. I don't know how long that construction's going on, but we want them to stay in business. These are and the shops too. So when you go down to the French Quarter and you see construction, just walk right past and into that street and support those small independent businesses. They need you. They really do. All the hotels in New Orleans in the summer have great deals. Call the hotel directly. This is what I suggest to get the best deal. Contact the hotel directly. Sure, you could use booking.com or hotels.com, but just remember, those hotels pay a fee to those booking services, so they are more likely to give you a deal if you call direct. And you can say, I saw the price on booking.com or hotels.com, but we'd like to book direct so you don't have to pay the fee. What's the best price you could offer? I promise and guarantee you they will appreciate that, and they will do their best to give you a great rate or a better room. Trust me on that. We do this all the time in Europe, so it's not just New Orleans. That could also include complimentary drinks at the bar, a discount on the on-site restaurant. So remember, there's deals to be had, even if you don't get the rate you want. They may give you a little lagniappe, as we like to say, to enjoy a cocktail or a meal. One of the hotels we recommend all the time is the Old 77 Chandlery. Compare Le Pan, one of the top rated restaurants in the city, is in that hotel. And there's a great little art exhibit in the back. Do check it out. Great location, great prices. We tell people all the time to stay there. Like I said, if you book direct, right down the street, another place is a Kimpton Hotel with King Brasserie, a discovery that we discovered doing COOLinary last summer. Okay, great restaurant on site in the Kimpton Hotel. Honestly, support these restaurants and they will love you to death and give you upgrades. Trust me. So another great thing about New Orleans is the museums. A, they're air conditioned, and B, there's deals to be had throughout the summer. The Historic New Orleans Collection in the French Quarter is doing a special exhibit on the American Revolution running through January 17th, 2027. During the month of August, I told you about COOLinary restaurant programs. Well, guess what? There's also Museum Month. If you buy one membership at any participating museum in New Orleans, so, go find one you like. I joined the Southern Food and Beverage Museum last year because I love that museum. It's on Aretha Casa Haley Boulevard. If you join one museum, you get free admission for 2 to all the other museums. And let me tell you, New Orleans has some great museums. My top 5, New Orleans Museum of Art in City Park with the adjacent sculpture garden. I love the Ogden Museum of Southern Art in the Arts District. I love the Contemporary Museum of Art right across the street. The World War II Museum is one of the finest in the country. You need a couple of days. I mean, you can just get lost there. And like I said, the Higgins Hotel has a great rooftop bar, Rosie's, when you're done. And there's some really fun entertainment. So the World War II Museum is a destination unto itself. But I do love that place. Another museum I highly recommend that I just mentioned is the Southern Food and Beverage Museum. It's all about Southern food and beverage, state by state. You could just get lost in there. I mean, I'm from Tennessee. I could just get lost with all the Tennessee exhibits. It's wonderful. And if you want to take a cooking class, Delightful Rue Cooking School, you could book a cooking class. Some of my friends say, I want to do a cooking class and learn how to make crawfish etouffee. This just happened. And Delightful Rue D. Levine is one of the top. She's really the second only woman of color owned cooking school in the state, I think in the country, I don't know, but she's awesome. If you can take one of her classes, they're on site at the Southern Food and Beverage Museum. There's also talks. I love this museum. And I love it anymore. The 2 eating spots literally steps away. The first is Cafe Reconcile, which is a nonprofit that was created over 20 years ago to help underserved youth, children 16 to 24, get skill training in hospitality and restaurant management and life skills. When you go there for lunch, which you book through Open Table, it's incredibly popular because it's also well priced and great food. And it is a cause to help urban youth. Your meal will be served by a young person in training. It may be prepared by a young person in training under the amazing direction of Chef Martha Wiggins, who is a force into herself. It's called Cafe Reconcile, one of our favorite go-to lunch places in New Orleans with a heart, right down the street from the Southern Food and Beverage Museum. And right around the corner is Lagniappe Bakery. Caitlin Guerin has been recognized by the James Beard Foundation. She was a finalist in 2025 for the awards for Rising Star. She has a tiny little bakery. It's now, she told me, I saw her recently at the Creole Tomato Festival. We'll get into festivals in a minute. Caitlin says she's now doing wine service, afternoon wine service. It's tiny. It's mainly outdoors, so hopefully the weather holds up. But she is one of the fine, small, women-owned, minority-owned businesses in New Orleans that I support, and I hope you will consider. It's called Lagniappe Bakery. Remember I said Lagniappe means a little something extra. This place is just a jewel box. Lagniappe Bakery, Cafe Reconcile, Southern Food and Beverage Museum, all in a very historic neighborhood. in Aretha Castle Haley Boulevard, not far from downtown New Orleans. Definitely put that on your visitor list. I would be remiss not to talk about two other museums before I move on. They're big museums. You need time. I highly recommend them. First is Sazerac House. So the Sazerac is a cocktail that was born here in New Orleans with a great story. Sazerac House is its homage. It's a multi-level interactive museum that basically tells you the story of the Sazerac, but cocktail culture, starting with coffee culture during Prohibition, when you couldn't get alcohol in New Orleans. It's interactive, it's terrific, and yes, you get to try some Sazerac cocktails too, so it's well worth it. I would do that. If you can do a guided tour, even better. I neglected to mention that inside the Southern Food and Beverage Museum is a special exhibit called the Museum of the American Cocktail. Cocktails are said to have been born and created here in New Orleans, although the French say they did it. But then there was a French-New Orleans connection, so what do we know? In America, the cocktail, New Orleans is the birthplace of the cocktail in America. How about that? So there's a cocktail exhibit at the Southern Food and Beverage Museum, and there's this amazing Sazerac House Museum right on Canal Street. So when you're done visiting that museum, may I highly recommend walking over to the beautiful Four Seasons Hotel, go to the Chandelier Bar, and have one of my favorite cocktails born in New Orleans, the French 75. They do it there with sparkling wine and cognac, which is my favorite way to have the French 75 versus with gin. And this bar is spectacular. Just stare at the chandelier and gaze. And they have really good French fries, truffle French fries, by the way. Also, right next to the Chandelier Bar is located in the super luxe Four Seasons Hotel. If you have a budget, stay there. But Miss River is a terrific restaurant that run by Alon Shaya down to the main floor, open to everyone, and it's a great restaurant. Their fried chicken dish, their whole fried chicken is amazing. I also, if the Chandelier Bar is a little too crowded, I'll sit at the bar at Miss River and get the same French 75. Still a great experience. Right next to the Four Seasons, another amazing museum called Vue NOLA, V-U-E NOLA. It is a history of New Orleans, all interactive, multi-level story of the music, story of the culinary, story of Prohibition, story of the different cultures that immigrated here, because this is the great melting pot in New Orleans. You've got, French, Italian, Spanish, English, German, Caribbean, African-American, Acadian from Canada, and I know I've left somebody, Irish, oh my God, the Irish channel. I know I've left somebody out, but it's the greatest melting pot in the United States besides New York City. So at the very top of the view is a bar, as I mentioned, a great rooftop bar, and a 360 view of New Orleans. Really a cool place. You need time. The best way to get deals is to go to neworleans.com and get deals. They have special rates in some of these museums. They have special packages. If you're here for a couple of days, so neworleans.com has all of that. And I'm not paid to say that, but I use them all the time as a source. Really terrific. So if you love music, it's a great place to be in the summer. First of all, Tipitina's, which is a classic music joint uptown on Chapatula Street, not far from Hanson Snowbiz. Free Fridays in the summer. Now, David and I just went for a Prince showdown with DJ Soul Sister. It was not free. It was all Prince. It was cool, very packed. But we're going to go to Free Fridays from now on. Tipitina's is a legendary bar. You should go anyway, but who can't beat Free Fridays with live bands? Starting at, I think the doors open at 8, performances at 9. You'll get out by midnight. If you want to eat nearby, I highly recommend a Chafala, a tiny little restaurant nearby. I also recommend Pascal Manali's a bit down the street on Napoleon, one of the classic older restaurants now owned by Dickie Brennan's. Another one that I recommend is Superior Seafood. I go there for oyster happy hour from 4 to 6 whenever I can. You get oyster happy hour, I think $1.50 oysters, and half price drinks. Love it. A lot of little eateries around there before you have your night out at Tipitina's. Frenchman Street, you just walk it at night. You go in and out, in and out, in and out in the Marinade. It's so much fun. You just walk in, walk out, just tip the band, have a drink, tip the band. Admission is free in all these places. You'll have a blast. I can't even tell you. DBA is the one that everybody goes to. I go to the Grill. I love the live band there. Haven't been in a while, but I highly recommend if you're visiting and you want some great free music, make sure to see Preservation Hall. I think there's 3 sessions a night. Again, you may find deals in the summer. I haven't been in a while, but I love it. Another great source for music is Gambit, Where You At, or NOLA.com. Where You At is a monthly magazine, and it tells you what's going on for the week or the month. I think it's Where You At's weekly and Gambit's monthly. NOLA.com is a good source. Just type in music. Really great. Now, if you really want something really special and you're in town August 25th, Buddy Guy, blues legend Buddy Guy, is throwing a 90th birthday party and performance at the Sanger Theater. If Dave and I are in town, we're going to hopefully go. Tickets are probably selling fast, but Buddy Guy, we saw him at Jazz Fest. Oh my God, he's amazing. So 90, you may not see him again. The Tulane Summer Lyric Theater is top-notch. Tulane University is my alma mater. They have Summer Lyric Theater. The students perform. Chicago is performing this summer, La Cage aux Folles, and a little night music. You can go to liberalarts.tulane.edu to find the schedule. Another great 2 other theater groups we recommend here is Le Petit Theater. It's in the French Quarter. It's a very historic old theater right next to Dickie Bryan's Tableau restaurant. They do a really good job. We saw Guys and Dolls there most recently. You can go to Le Petit Theater to see if they're have any shows while you're visiting. Another theater group we recommend is the Tennessee Williams Theater Company. Tennessee Williams was inspired in New Orleans and lived here. This is a small little theater company that produces some really terrific shows. If you're a Tennessee Williams fan like me, check it out. These are running throughout the summer, and you can go to their sites. I will put this all up on my blog, Melanie Fabulous, at Substack, so you have it as well. But music and theater are abundant in the summer. You can also find just outdoor music festivals happening, which leads me to summer events you should check out if you're coming to New Orleans in the summer. First of all, I mentioned Go Forth on the River, the Independence Day celebration with massive fireworks over the Mississippi River. Fabulous. The same time, July 3 to 5, is the Essence Festival at Caesar Superdome. A huge event with major players. I think Michelle Obama's going to be there. It's Essence Magazine puts it on. Big draw, lots of activities. Some of my personal favorites, really goofy only in New Orleans, the annual running of the bulls. Yes, people dress up in horns and red and run around chasing each other. It's called the San Fermin celebration, like it's called in Pamplona, with festivities, July 10th through 12th. There's a fundraiser. You can join and go and have special VIP access, and the money goes to support a great cause, cancer cause. That is July 10th through 12th. Another only in New Orleans that I love is, there's all of these are only in New Orleans right now, Tales of the Cocktail. Okay, Tales of the Cocktail is the largest cocktail congregation and conference in the world. It started in New Orleans. It's been going on for years. It's July 19th to 24th. Yes, it's really meant for people who work in the industry, but there are events available to people who just want to go taste great cocktails and learn about a favorite spirit. It's in the French Quarter mainly, based at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel on Canal Street, with many, many events going around the city. Talesofthecocktail.org is the website, July 19th to 24th. I love Satchmo Summerfest because, the city, we even are named our airport after Louis Armstrong. He is the muse of New Orleans. He lived here for many, many years. He also lived in New York. The Satchmo Summerfest celebrates Louis Armstrong's birthday. It's the first 2 days of August 1 and 2, so the first weekend. Lots of great live music. There's a parade. Dave and I volunteered to be in the parade. Great music. With performers like Kermit Ruffians around the Jazz Museum, which is in the French Quarter. Another great museum, by the way, the Jazz Museum. Highly recommend that one as well. 3 other crazy fun only in New Orleans. There's the Fidelity Bank White Linen Night. I've done this event. It's uptown in the Arts District. Everybody wears white. All the art galleries are open. There's cocktails and food all over to go. It's like a strolling art walk, which actually happens all the time because the first Friday of every month is an art walk in the Arts District, free. If you're in New Orleans on a Friday, art walk is a big deal the first Friday of every month. So this is the white linen first Friday, which is when you wear white. And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. It's hot. It's a lot of fun. There's live music on the streets. Again, bring a fan. I didn't mention, bring a fan or a electric, one of those push button fans to cool off. I carry one in my purse, and I have a small purse, but I managed to get everything in the purse. Dirty Linen Night is the French Quarter's version of White Linen Night. It's all in the French Quarter. People wear whatever they damn well please. They wear costumes. Again, you walk around the different galleries and there's eating and drinking throughout. It's also fun. And finally, the Red Dress Run. Okay, what is that? August 8th. Yes, you put on a red dress, whether you're a man or a woman, you put on a red dress or something similar, and you run for charity. Yes, and you will see people running all over the French Quarter and the river in red. And even if you're not running, wear red to support. It benefits heart health. I think it's either heart health or cancer, but all of these events benefit worthy charities. So yeah, there's a lot going on in the summer, right? So, another reason it comes, all these fun events. My vote, Tales of the Cocktail. My vote, Satchmo Summerfest. My vote, check out these amazing rooftop bars. I particularly like Charles and Julia. I think it's just really elegant. I haven't been to Hot Tin in a while. It gets really busy. That's probably why. I check it out. Some of my favorite other outdoor venues, Bacchanal in the Bywater is this really cool outdoor wine garden. Great wines, live music, way back in the Bywater, but it's really fun. A lot of industry people like to go to that. I also like Parlo Beer Garden, not bar, from Bacchanal in the Bywater. Parlo is an artisanal craft beer, not artisanal craft beer. You sit outside and have beer in the garden. There's cornhole. It's like chillax. That's my word. So many wonderful outdoor spaces to chill down in this. And I'm going to tell you, New Orleans in the evening, it cools down. It's nice. It's still hot. It cools down. Just wear bug spray. But it's really nice. If you're really not a sun person, go out at night in New Orleans. You're going to love it. So much to do. So have I given you enough reasons to visit New Orleans in the summer? 1, there's lots to do. 2, as the temperatures rise, prices tend to go down. 3, there's plenty of green space to chill out, as well as well air-conditioned galleries and stores to visit. Dining deals are abundant. Really fun music events that are free. You don't have to spend a lot of money to go to New Orleans. And you're supporting a city at its most challenged time. People don't say, people don't wake up and go, I'm going to go visit New Orleans in the summer. They go, I'm going to go visit New Orleans at Christmas or Mardi Gras or Jazz Fest. And those are busy times. But sometimes it's fun to go somewhere that's perceived as off season. I do this a lot in Europe. I go to Europe off season. It's quiet. You're going to have to stand in line other than a snowball. You're not going to stand in line to see attractions. I was just in Florence just for a day. And then San Gimignano, there were lines everywhere, tour buses. You don't have that in the summer as much. Sure, there'll be some tour buses, but not mass crowds. You just have more time to enjoy and explore. Just don't rush it. Pack well for heat, wear comfy shoes, and take your time. But then that's the way all travel should be, whether you're New Orleans or Europe. I see people planning trips to Europe, and it's like, we're going to be one day here and one day there and one day here. And I'm like, no, why? Just don't rush around so much. You don't enjoy, you get overheated, you get tired, your feet hurt. You don't need to do that. You just enjoy the pace, get a part of the city. So I'll be here this summer in New Orleans, and I actually have a list of my favorite places I like to go. I shared many of them with you, not all the restaurants, but if you really want to know, reach out to me at Melanie Fabulous on Instagram, and I can send you my list. That's right. It's always being updated. As I like to say, New Orleans sizzles in the summer with great deals. The Big Easy takes it easy, and you will have a great experience because people will welcome you with open hearts and open arms and a chilled cocktail. So come on down. Laissez les bon temps rouler slowly. Chill out and chillax this summer in New Orleans, the Big Easy. I'll be here. So wherever you're traveling, put New Orleans on your list at some point, and always travel with purpose, respect for the local culture, be polite, dress appropriately, do your research ahead of time so that you're comfortable and you make people comfortable wherever you go. You never want to be the demanding person, the ugly American, the person who talks too loud. You want to be polite, respectful. You want to listen. You want to have tip. People work hard in the industry, the tourism industry, and tipping in most countries is acceptable, even if they say it's not. Just be thoughtful and have a good time. I'm Melanie Young. This is Fearless Fabulous You. This is a Fearless Fabulous travel segment. I will be doing more of those in the future because travel is my passion. You always have a choice on how you want to choose to live your life. Always put self-care first. Take care of yourself, take care of your loved ones, and expand your horizons. Choose to live life on your terms and not those set by others, and always choose fearless and fabulous. Thank you.